Hi again, folks. We're here today to talk about my vintage and thrifted Halloween collection as promised in my Joanna Parker walkthrough of that collection. So this is the pieces, many of which were super affordable to find and just came from checking out different Goodwills, local thrift stores. A couple of it are like sale things that I got on Etsy. So just trying to show you ways that you can bring together a really fun decor collection that doesn't really break the bank too much. I'm here with my Nomi friends. I am wearing some Halloween pajama pants that I think were from like TJ Maxx, and I'm wearing this sort of fun Mishka New York City t-shirt, which if you don't know, they're this really cool t-shirt brand. This one's a vintage one, but they have a ton of cool prints. It looks like the website is still operational, so if you like this type of thing, then go check them out. I actually, at one of my jobs, had the opportunity to meet a guy who had been a designer for them like way back in the 80s, so that was super fun, and they're very like high quality, cool prints. Anyways, let's get started. I am very excited for this one. This is kind of my bread and butter as a person. Like, as much as I enjoy going to different big box stores to see what they have, I think the most unique pieces that you can get that, you know, often are ones that you'll never be able to find somewhere else are going to be the thrift hunt. So, let's see. I'm gonna start first with, I'm looking at the whole display of them is right behind me on my table, and I'm trying to figure out what the best one to start with is. Okay. Natural place to start. This cookie jar, candy bowl, this beautiful pumpkins with a little cat, a bat, and some ghosties on top. This actually, I think, literally was the first Halloween item that I bought for myself. It would be quite a few years after that that I started really collecting, but this one I found at a thrift store. I believe it was $5, and it's David Cookie's company, and people were selling these for, I don't know, like $100 or something online, like this brand of cookie jar. So it's like a very nice piece, really high quality, and did not break the bank at all. And it's my favorite cookie jar to put out. So whatever other brands of cookie jars that I get, this one is always the first one that's gonna go out on my kitchen counter. And there's also tons of space inside. So one of my favorite pieces. This was definitely one of those like things that started to spark just the love of this type of thing, and really kind of committing to the kitschy and kind of cute stuff. So let's move on then. Oh, so this is kind of an interesting one. As I have mentioned in other videos, we got to clean out my grandma's house. So some of this stuff is also things that I've kind of collected along the way that work for the like fall Halloween decor. And so one of my favorite little pieces is this, and it's a little lamp. It's got its plug here, which I actually haven't been able to find a bulb that works for it yet, so I'm still on the hunt for that. But even when it's not lit up, it's just so cute. These giant green eyes. It's a little cat sort of crouching in grass. And this one I actually keep up all year round because I just think it's like exactly my type of thing. This is the type of stuff that I'll just keep around regardless of the season. So totally in love with this. Really special and unique, and it's special that it comes from my grandma's house and also is the type of vintage piece that I just don't think one would easily find. I don't know what brand this is. It just has like a maker's mark on the bottom that I have not been able to figure out, you know, who that person is, but I love it. So check your like lamp and weird other decor sections at the thrift store to find stuff like this. I feel like that is kind of the best spot to look. So let's move on to then, this is one I found last year at Goodwill. It's this really cute little cottage. It's the Witch's Specialty. So it's like a witch's store that has all these amazing ghosties. And I think the thing about stuff like this is there's a lot of stuff that I feel like is pretty poorly painted and doesn't really have, I guess, that look, if that makes sense. Like it'll feel like things that are trying to reproduce the type of thing that this is. So if you can see, the details might not, it might not focus on screen, but it's just got a ton of little detail, even like the painting of different colors of the awning. Just a really, really nice little piece. You could put a light in this one too if you wanted to, like with a lot of these. I have not yet, but I might someday. I would love to collect like a whole village of this specific type of thing, but it can be, as I said, hard to find good ones. So then let's move on to another piece sort of in the same vein that I found at Goodwill. It's this little witch in a cemetery on a swing that does actually swing. Unfortunately, I haven't found a way to sort of prop her up correctly because it's clear that this little ribbon is not good for holding the weight, but if you're very careful, you can kind of prop her up for a second. That one was another one that was like really cute, pretty well painted as far as this type of thing goes. So I love it. I always put it up on like the bookcase or something where I can kind of prop her back so that she stays standing. Then let me show you something that I actually got from Etsy. So this video is kind of going to be a combination of things found in thrift stores, as I said, and things that I got on sale on Etsy, which I know Etsy can be a little bit more expensive, but if you're willing to look for the deals, then you'll find some really great stuff. So I have this Will I Ray like wheeled witch cat and pumpkin. And you can see on the back it's got these little broomsticks that are like propelling it forward. And Will I Ray, if you don't know, is this like incredible studio that used to do, and I don't think they do them anymore. I think the studio has gone defunct, but they have done a ton of these like mobile Halloween sculptures that always have beautiful little details, are really finely painted, and This one I actually was able to get on sale because the tail is just slightly broken. And typically these things can run you more expensive, but again, if you're able to find a one that has like some mild wear on it but still looks really great, then you can definitely get a deal on that. Unfortunately, I don't remember exactly how much I paid for this, but also something to look out for in thrift stores. A lot of thrift stores will get in stuff that the people kind of sorting don't know this brand. They don't understand that there are people who will pay a lot more money for these old pieces. So it's also good to have in mind what are the brands that you want to keep a lookout for as you're perusing the shelves. So this one, yeah, I saw on Etsy. I just had to have it. I love the pumpkin face. I adore cats. My cat is right down here getting some pets right now. Hey, buddy. Hey. Hey. Come here. Hi. Hi, little man. As I'm sure you'll notice in my videos, I get a lot of like cat interludes. Oh. Hey, buddy. This is Spud. I don't think you saw him on camera last time. He doesn't like being held like this, but just so you can see him. He's a big long boy. That's Sweet Pea's brother. So then we're gonna move on to, on the cat theme, this other piece that I got on Etsy that I loved. I just loved it, buddy. Yes, I did. Look at that. It's sort of dusty because it's been sitting out. Actually, I keep it out all year round. It's been sitting out on my dresser. But it's this cat mama with all of her little babies attached to it. I know, it's so cute. Look at that. Look at that cat. And this piece, I thought, you know, just the cat alone would be super cool, but I try and look for things that have unique details. So the fact that it's got this like strand of kitties and you can sort of arrange them so that they all set out in a little line in front of her, I just thought was super sweet. Each one has a little different colored dot on the top of its head. And this was another, like, as I was starting to build up my Halloween collection, I saw this online and it was a pretty good deal. I think this was like $20. This is like an actual vintage piece. So I just am so glad that I got it because this one has been a staple of mine for a couple years now. And I just think she's really pretty. She's got those vintage eyes that are just really nice. Okay. Let's move on to, again, I'm still very overwhelmed by everything sitting in front of me. Let's move on to a weirder piece that I think not a lot of people like. My partner finds this one sort of unsettling, but also found at a thrift store, I think it was $1, is this cat with giant lips with sort of a busted nose that I need to repaint. I should probably do some touch-ups on multiple spots where it's gotten discolored, but it's just like a lounging, like weirdly sexy cat that it's like I'll look at something in a thrift store and I will see its whole personality. And once I've been able to totally personify the object and imagine that it has this whole like ridiculous inner world, then I have to buy it, especially when it's only $1. So this one I usually just set somewhere random and it always gets a laugh and maybe like a cringe out of people who see it, but very into it. And it's just like a really light wooden piece, you know, very very transportable. So let's go to this guy, which this is also going to start a theme. So this is a little salt shaker that my uncle actually bought for me when I was visiting him and my cousin in California. This was at a flea market. Got it for $5. It's this little like monkey butler who was just super weird and cute, but the theme that this starts is to build up your like Halloween seasonal decor collection. It does not necessarily have to be like, oh, this is a Halloween item. Like this guy is not Halloween, but he has the weird kind of would be on a shelf of a haunted house type of a thing going on. So I will put him now with the other stuff as well, and I'll probably keep him around all year round. Maybe not at Christmas, but for the most part he's just gonna stay because he matches the vibe. It matches the vibe, and that's what you need to look for. It doesn't need to be themed. It just needs to be cohesive within the theme. We have also another thrift store find, not necessarily Halloween, but who's on theme, is this weird, ugly, incredible toad holding a kiss me sign. So I put him up in I kind of had a witchy kitchen last year, so he definitely went in there. I'm not sure where he'll live this year. This is also it's just resin. It's very light. I think this guy was like a couple bucks. And I think I also found him maybe in the spring and thought, I'll be able to use this for Halloween next year. This was a couple springs ago. And yeah, he's great. Love it. In love. I did get last year during the Halloween season these things that I just am so in love with. They used to clearly be like for the tops of canisters, and they had like foam on the bottom that was clearly like the way that it would stick into the canister, and I just wanted to display them regularly. So I kind of scraped the foam off, and now they just sit sort of as flat pieces. But they're so cute. I love this one. Has this like vintage Halloween bucket that actually moves. I have no idea what the brand is. They sort of remind me of some of the other brands that I'm into that I also can't remember the name of in this moment. But obviously, because they weren't attached to the canisters that they originally had been a part of, there was no tag or anything. There's no like mark on the bottom saying what they were for, or who made them, I mean. But again, just little pieces that they were sort of like tucked away on a shelf in the like seasonal decor section of the Goodwill, and I couldn't get enough of it. So those ones, we'll see where they end up this year. Last year they sort of went on my counter, and I kind of want to put them in a spot where they can really be seen this year. Speaking of kitchen stuff, my mom tag sales a bunch. Surprise, surprise, it runs in the family. And she found this tag sale where this woman had collected salt and pepper shakers. So she had literally like 1,000 salt and pepper shakers for sale at this tag sale. And I believe they were going for $2 per set. So one of the sets that I got a bunch of sets for a bunch of different seasons, but one of the sets I got are these little vintage cats. And this is clearly like actual vintage shakers who, of course, are perfect for the Halloween season. I mean, just look at their eyes. But I find it hard to get really good green Halloween decor, and I like to have little pops of green here and there amongst the sort of classic orange, black, white scheme. So these ones I just, of course, love, as I'm going to continually say over and over again. I just love it. That's why I bought it. But I also thought the detail on these was just so cute. So like, let's see if I can get it to focus. I can't. I don't know what I'm doing. But if you can make out, there's a little bow tie on each one. And of course the eyes, and they're in a really cute little pose together. So these two are also nice for like having sort of matching little things at the edges of a bigger decor vignette. Which when I do decor videos, which is coming next, actually I'm filming more today, these you'll kind of see how I like to have little things sort of flanking, and then it kind of comes up into the classic sort of like triangle shape. Another pair of salt and pepper shakers that we got at that same tag sale were these frogs. They're frogs. I didn't know what they were when I first saw them, but they are frogs. And they're like really creepy, weird frogs, which of course, yes, immediate yes, I love them. So these little guys are just a great set that I keep in my kitchen. Went great with my witchy decor last year, but of course will still go up this year because I'm super into that. And yeah, they're just, you know, they're just weird little guys, you know. I also got from my mom, which this is another piece, not strictly Halloween, but I found that it actually works really well. We have a sort of tea and coffee little section. I would hardly even call it a coffee bar, but we have a little spot where we keep all of that stuff, and I really like to have a little tea bag holder displayed depending on the season. So I found it really hard to find one that was actually Halloween, but my mom did give me this one. I will hold the tea bag, it says, and it's got a it's hard to see with the glare. It's got a cute vintagey face that goes with a lot of the other like vintage style painted faces of other things that I have. So again, even though it's not Halloween, it fit into that aesthetic, and so I put it up now, and it's very cute. I also got, I want to show this one. This one I found after I'd already decorated, and I of course went back to Goodwill just to see, did they have anything else? I got a lot of great scores last year at Goodwill. I haven't had as much luck this year. But this is this little tea light holder. This little pumpkin pear who have those cute, cute eyes. This is a ceramic piece and totally unbranded. There's nothing there. It's just, I have no idea where this came from. I don't know what time period it's from. Looks like probably 80s. And I was so happy that I went back one more time to see. And I really like that they're a lighter yellow as opposed to just the full classic pumpkin orange. They're a lighter yellow with the sort of like orange accent along the lines of the pumpkins. And that they've got these little star cutouts in them. So really cute. I don't put a tea light in here because tea lights are somewhat unpredictable, and I don't feel like going out and buying a bunch of the electric ones. So if I'm putting tea lights anywhere, I am actually lighting them. So most of the things that are tea light holders, I just don't even bother because I don't want to forget and cause a fire or leave it too long and it like causes like blackening soot on the inside of stuff. But I just use this as decor and it's great. I did also get last year this Here Lies Scary Harry, another really cute one. He just kind of sits anywhere, probably on my bookshelf. fun, you know, nothing super special. There was something in the pumpkin that got torn out that I would like to replace someday. There's just like hot glue in there, and so I'll try and think of something to put in it. Maybe I could put in another thing from my grandma's, which is just a little owl. You know, so that brings up a good point that I think decor pieces that are kind of like this size often end up being the most appealing, because it feels like kind of you're getting the biggest bang for your buck, because they're usually on the cheaper end because they're not super big, but you also still have room to see details. The thing with that though is that if you want to layer up the decoration, you need to have bigger and littler things like this to just kind of stick in and sprinkle around in between stuff, so that it feels like these things have sort of accumulated there naturally. That's the look that I am often going for, is this sort of like natural accumulation of stuff. So you need to have all the different sizes to achieve that. So looking at something like salt and pepper shakers and not necessarily using them, you know, for that, like the little cats, is a great way to achieve that look. Also with something like a salt and pepper shaker or that little owl trinket, those things often are extremely cheap. Even if you just got like little plastic skulls and stuff from the Dollar Tree, little bits of moss and stuff from Dollar Tree, these are all great ways to kind of achieve that look without having to spend a lot of money on it. But to get to a bigger piece, sort of in that medium range I was just talking about, set, I found at a thrift store. Here, let me get all of them. I found this 3-piece set. I believe these were maybe $3 each, so it was $9 for the set. They are these, let's see if I can hold them all at once, at least for a second. These little ceramic Halloween figures. Let's start with the witch. She's this incredible pumpkin witch with her little cat. I have considered possibly repainting these because it's got a very shimmery sort of paint job, and the orange is like quite orange. It is orange. But for now, I've just kept them as they are, and I think they're super cute. You can put a little candle in them if you want. I didn't do that last year. I just had them kind of sitting out like this on the table. She was super cute. The cat, of course, also super cute. You can kind of see what I mean with the, like, it's almost like those old-timey orange candies, orange, bright orange, metallic-y, like the green, you can see it's like a metallic green. So maybe I'll repaint those. Unfortunately, whoever it was who put the price tag on these was not thinking, because they put them just on the body of it, and when I took the price tag off, it caused this like horrible chipping in it. So I just positioned them so that you couldn't see their backs, but I really need to go in and fix them. But I don't have, this is clearly using a glossy paint, and I don't have that. I just have like regular acrylic paints that will dry pretty matte, and then my oil paints, which would not work for something like this. So I need to see about getting a paint to touch those up, but so cute. And then my favorite of the bunch is this ghosty, who is so happy, has those little vintage eyes. I love the stars, the little star cutouts that are then lined with a little bit of orange or yellowy orange paint, and just very joyful. And I've been thinking about what it is that I like about this season. And I do like the macabre, but I also love the sort of joyfulness in that, and the, I guess, feeling like I'm in some type of farmhouse, which I kind of literally am in some type of farmhouse, surrounded by all of these little friends with smiling faces that just add some life into my life. Ironically, during a season that's often thought of as just being about like death and gloom. I don't find it very gloomy, personally. I also got this pumpkin, super cute, weird eyes, kind of an odd pumpkin shape, but also big happy smile. This is another one. I might do repaint on it because, as you can see, it's got sort of a messy paint job there, but still, I really like the shape. And I think it's good to think about, I mean, I also like how they did the ombre on the pumpkin. So if I were to do a repaint, I would either have to recreate that or I would just repaint those little spots that weren't done as neatly. But you also do have to think about, do I like the base to this thing? Because if I like the base to this thing, there are a million different types of paints for different materials. Oftentimes, just acrylic paints will also work fine, especially if you do like a gesso base. So think about, as you're looking for Halloween pieces, especially if you're on a budget, is this something that I could spend relatively little money modifying myself to make it be exactly what I have been looking for? When I got that pumpkin, I also got this one, who definitely needs a repaint, but didn't get it last year and hasn't gotten it yet this year. This pumpkin, who is just like an extremely unsettling face that I also love. That really bright orange can also fit a candle. The last one could do a candle. Most of these are candle holders. But also no branding whatsoever on this one. Have no idea where this is from, how old it is. This one strikes me as maybe being from the 90s, but probably 80s or 90s. And I would love to give him a new paint job, but I'm perfectly happy just also putting him out as his weird, wonderful self that is just really sort of strange. And I think you'll come to find that a lot of how I feel about myself and the life that I've built around me is really sort of strange. So he fits right in here. I did also get, this one's more cute than strange, but I have this guy holding a bucket of candy corn. This one, it says Emrad LTC Seasonal Sensations. I've never looked into this brand before, but if you were interested in finding something like this, then you could look into this brand and see if they have anything else. I loved all of the details on this little ghost. He's also sort of a ghost that looks kind of like a snowman, but I think since it's Halloween, it's supposed to be a ghost. But all the little multicolored stars on his hat and his jacket, and the checkered scarf, the fact that all the little candy corns are painted, the stripes. Like, this is an outfit that I would wear, you know. So this one, just a great find. I think that one was maybe like $5. Let's see, what haven't I done yet? I'll go through these guys pretty quick. This one is just an electric light up ghosty. Let's see if I can. Lights up, super warm and cheery. Not crazy special, but I liked the sort of diamond star pattern. I like the way of doing that, so I got that one. It was a couple bucks. I got this one, another candle holder. I liked the ghosts. I don't have too many ghosts, so I was trying to find more ghosts, but I liked the sort of patterns on this one. I think that's supposed to be a bat. It's not a very good bat, but it also has the little pumpkin, which was very cute. Then, I got this girl. This might be one of my favorite of all of my Halloween pieces, which I know might not be saying much since I'm saying how much I love everything here, but this girl is just so cute. She was also one of my first finds when I really committed to building up my Halloween collection. Her mask is a little piece of like sheet metal that was glued on. This is also an outfit I feel like I would fully just wear. But I don't know, she kind of reminds me of me as a kid, you know, sort of like cute but awkward and fully trying to be her weird self. So I love her, and I'm really glad to have found her. Again, I think she was maybe like $3 at a Goodwill. So I'll follow it up with my other special girl who I love, who was a late find last year. I think was like maybe $5. She also is unbranded, or whatever the branding tag was came off. But she's just, again, so cute. Sort of reminds me of myself as a kid. Would also wear the outfit. But I like that she's got this bat that just sort of hangs off. She also broke last year. We had people over to watch a movie, and as I was trying to set up our projector, I like totally knocked her off the shelf and she broke. She's a resin piece, and for resin and ceramic, if something like this breaks, I use 5-minute epoxy. That's going to be much more stable than just using a... Spud's playing with his toy again. That's what the thing in the background is. Hold on. As I was saying, a 5-minute epoxy is going to be much more stable than any other glue that you could get at the store. It's a little bit more difficult to work with, and I would definitely recommend working somewhere that has ventilation, because 5-minute epoxies or any kind of epoxy is really strong stuff, and like it gave me a migraine using this to fix her. But if you really want to fix those pieces well, that's definitely what I would recommend. And again, one of the few glue materials that will actually work on ceramic pieces. I think resin is a little bit easier, but for ceramics that can be pretty tough to fix in a way that will really hold. So that's what I'd recommend. The next piece I'm going to show you is, let's go for something a little different. I found this tree, also at a Goodwill. Mostly I shop at Goodwills. We have a couple smaller thrift stores around, but unfortunately most of what we have in my area are Goodwills. This tree, I was really looking for taller pieces that could help create different levels in the decor, because I realized that I was making that mistake of having too many like mid-sized pieces and not enough small little pieces and tall pieces. So this one is just like a fun, funky tree. It felt very like Tim Burton-y to me. So yeah, I got that. I love having it as sort of a background piece to a whole setup of stuff. And that one I think was like $5. Most of this stuff is gonna be in the like $1 to $5 range. A couple pieces might have been like $10. And then the stuff that I've gotten off Etsy might have been more in like the $20 to $30 range, but those are just very like specific pieces. And those also were cheaper than what their usual going price is. I did also get this vase that's huge. It's almost too big. It's kind of hard to place it, but it had these black tuxedo cats, and my family had a great tuxedo cat growing up, so not only is it seasonally appropriate, but it kind of reminded me of our cat Oliver. So we love you, Oliver, and we also love this checkerboard print. These ones are great. This one is not for food use, may poison food. No, this is another famous brand. I'll try and look it up and see if I can find it, because I have definitely seen a bunch of other pieces like this before. So if I find it, I will put it on the screen probably right here if I find what brand it is. But this was one, I didn't find it during the fall season, but thought that it would be very seasonally appropriate. So I got it and just like set it aside till it was time. And now it's finally almost time. I did get this guy. This was from, well, first of all, it's a singing toad. How cute is that? I believe this is actual taxidermy, which I know that people have complex feelings about taxidermy. I get that. I'm only really like personally comfortable getting taxidermy if I know that either it's been sourced ethically or if it's like an antique piece. So this is an antique taxidermied singing toad that is kind of slowly. The other thing about taxidermy, especially with something that is as delicate as this, it'll sort of slowly start to decay. So even though this toad clearly has been sealed, he has slowly started to kind of, well, decay. So I have to be very delicate with him, but he sits out. This was from a little store in California, actually, up where my grandparents used to live in the mountains, and another one that I keep up all year round, but fits very well into the Halloween. Also super dusty, because I'm terrible at remembering to dust stuff. And since he's been sitting out, quite a lot of dust has accumulated on him. I do have, I think this is actually maybe the same brand as that cat vase we were just talking about. I have this little cat, was $1, and again, super seasonally appropriate. Really cute little face. I really like the shape of this one because I find it hard to find things that are sort of a thin, tall, vertical sort of shape. So not only was it super cute, but it also was a good balancing piece for the other type of decor that I have. What else do we got? I'll do some of my signs. I find it really hard to find good Halloween signs, but this one, it was $2 from Goodwill. It was from Christmas Tree Shops, which sadly is no more, but this is like an old Christmas Tree Shops piece, and I thought that the design read a little bit more folk art and a little bit less I guess, what's the word that I'm looking for? I guess childish? I find that a lot of the little block signs like this either feel very childish or very basic. Like very cookie cutter, live, laugh, love type of a vibe, which is not my vibe at all. I mean, I guess I am kind of childish since I am showing you my entire Halloween collection, but I think cookie cutter might be a better way to describe what it is. That it's just not super my thing. So I felt happy to find a little wooden piece like this that was that type of sign thing, which is also great for balancing other more three-dimensional decor. And I thought that that was nice. I also found this little like hanging plaque. This is this one was also $2. And another one where, you know, just pretty unique, pretty unlike most of the signs that I see. So I usually hang this one up in my kitchen. I do have some smaller pieces I'll just run through, like little cauldron, great for adding little touches of stuff. Little brass frog that I got last summer. Another great, just a little touch of something that's not Halloween but could still be a spooky vibe, kind of fits with other actual themed decor. And then, let's see, I have from my grandma's again, this little like wrought iron candlestick holder that would hold two of the like really thin little candles. I haven't been able to find those yet in store to use with this one. And I just love the little chicken on top too. I think that's so cute. And I think that chickens can actually be spooky, especially if they're in like the folk art farmhouse sort of style. I think that makes them fit. They fit. I did get last year, which I got it in the spring when it was too late, but this little candle holder that has the beautiful punched cutouts in the metal. That one also takes a bit of a smaller candle. And I thought that this was another really great piece for sort of tying the whole thing together and making me feel like I'm living in a like antique Halloween store or house. And I just thought it was really beautiful. I think that was like $5. And I'll show you my latest acquisition, which is this, I guess it's called a Paul Revere lamp. It fits well after the last one because it also has these really cool punched designs. But what I loved about this one is that it actually plugs in. So it has been wired for electricity, and the bulb does work. I did check that it works. This one was a little more expensive. It was like $40 because I got it from an actual like boutique store, although this was one of the cheaper things in the store, which I think is crazy because this is such a beautiful piece. But I'll have to figure out where I want to hang it. So if I can find a good place to hang this light, this will really tie the whole look that I'm going for together. Okay, so I think other than that lamp, that's pretty much it. I have a couple little things, like I've got another little Frankenstein salt shaker, and there's a couple little pumpkins floating around, but those are most of the pieces that I was really, really happy to find. And I thought it was really important to make this video, not only because I really like the collection that I've accumulated, but I also know that it can feel really discouraging if you want to form your own collection and you walk into a Home Goods and a lot of the stuff, while cheaper than boutique stores is still pretty expensive if you're on a budget. And most of this stuff was only in, as I said, in like the $1 to $5 range. I know that even that can be a lot for people, but if you wanted to get into the spirit and just wanted a couple things, that's the type of thing that wouldn't break the bank. So I guess this is just sort of inspiration to go out and check your local thrift stores. I recommend looking not only in the seasonal decor section, but also in the dishware section. They always have a kind of like metal section. That's where I found pieces like this one. And I know Goodwill's prices have been rising. Everyone has been upset about it. I am as well. But a lot of that stuff still is pretty affordable. Be cautious, really take a look. Maybe go to the dollar store first and see what they have there before you go to your local Goodwill, just to make sure that Goodwill isn't trying to pass off stuff that was just $1 as something that should be worth $2 to $5. But a lot of the stuff that I found here I know was not priced as like a dollar store item, and I still was able to get it pretty cheaply at Goodwill because they just, they're not really thinking about what they have when it comes to most seasonal decorations. So I hope that you found it fun to take a look at the stuff that I've got. I hope that you find it fun when you see how this all actually comes together in my house. And I hope that this is a little bit of encouragement to get out there and see what it is that you can find at your own stores. So thank you, folks, and have a great rest of your day, and stay spooky, stay in the fall spirit. We're like almost there, very close. The leaves are like just about to start to change. So I will see you all in the next one. Bye.